Book talk? Book talk. That's what we're talking about. Book talk. Book talk flops. Hi. Book talk is the biggest book community on the internet. Like of the big three on social media. On social media, we have Book Talk, Bookstagram, BookTube. Book talk is the biggest. It gets people talking, whether good or bad things. That's up for debate, but it's very influential. It sets the trends. Hypes up books. Probably has something to do with TikTok as a whole, just being like a very widely used app. But Book Talk is very big. There's different little niches of it, but like the mainstream Book Talk is what gets people talking. Whether this is like about the drama or just like book recommendations, it doesn't matter. You can go into any big bookstore. I know whenever I go into Indigo, there's a table of books that are like Book Talk. If there's a popular book on Book Talk, people are going to read it. People are going to hype it up. The author's going to make bank. And then that type of book's going to get milked to death. Whatever, right? But, just because something's trending doesn't mean it's good. And that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. I wanted to just have a little discussion. I wanted to have a little chat about some of the books I've read because of Book Talk that just didn't live up to the hype. They were kind of flops in my book. Obviously people have different tastes. I'm not saying if you like these books, you have bad taste. Just for me, they didn't work. And like when I say I read because of Book Talk, I mean like I read because of Book Talk. Found out about the book through TikTok and I was like, cool, that book seems interesting. I'm not going to read a book that I don't care for, even if it is like very hyped up. If the plot doesn't sound like something I would like, I'm not going to read it. So these are books I went in thinking I would like. So let's get into my little list. The first book I remember reading because of Book Talk was They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book just didn't do it for me. So They Both Die at the End is set in like this like future where we have the ability to predict who's gonna die that day. So like every morning, like in the wee hours of the night, if you are going to die that day, you get notified. They like call you, which is kind of funny in my opinion. But they call you and they're like, yeah, you're gonna die, by the way. And then people that are informed that they're gonna die, they end up just like doing a bunch of fun stuff, living life. So we follow two boys, Mateo and Rufus, and they both are notified that they're gonna die. Mateo and Rufus, they decide to spend the day together and they kind of fall for one another, right? So it's a bit of a love story, but obviously they only end up having one day together because as the title says, they both die at the end. The writing just didn't do it for me. I was annoyed. Just thought the writing was a bit weak. I feel like if I was 14, I would have loved this, which would have made sense because it is YA. But a lot of people hyping up this book were adults, like young adults maybe, which like, yeah, why is young adults? But normally that's like teens, right? It's more geared towards teenagers. I think also just like the ending just made me so upset and not like because they died and I was like, oh my God, this is devastating. But like I was overthinking it. I have an issue with these types of vibe of plots in general, like where they can like sort of predict the future. If you know the future outcome, I think your behavior is a bit different. Okay, so like let's enter spoiler city now, okay? Because I need to rant about this. And if you've read the book, maybe you can be like, you know what, you're overthinking it. It's not that deep. But when I was reading it, I was just annoyed because I think it's Mateo, one of them, they live by themselves and their like oven, I think it is, their ovens, their stove, something's wonky. And they know this. And they've been like, I need to get it fixed. And that ends up killing him. But the two boys, they go back to his place, right? And they end up like falling asleep, taking a nap, whatever. The one guy that lives there, I think it's Mateo, he wakes up and he goes and I don't know what he's doing. I think he like turns it on though, and that ends up killing him. I don't know if it's like there's like a gas leak or something or like whatever. And then Rufus wakes up. He finds dead Mateo. He's devastated. He leaves the apartment building, walks into oncoming traffic, tears, gets hit, and dies. So, my thing with this, right, is like maybe even if Mateo didn't know he was going to die that day, the oven probably still would have killed him because he seems like a dope and he's like, I'm aware that this is busted, but I'm going to use it anyway. Rufus, on the other hand, if he wasn't notified he was going to die, I don't think, and this is true because Mateo only left his apartment really that day because he was told he was going to die. And then that's how he met Rufus. And then Rufus and him end up hanging out all day. And that's how he ends up back at Mateo's. And then he gets devastated because his like this boy he like met and was like falling for died. And now he's upset and he's walking into oncoming traffic. So it's like if he didn't know he was gonna die, he wouldn't have been in that situation. Maybe something else would have killed him. I don't know if this is like a sort of, Charlie and Lost sort of thing where it's like if you were gonna die, like the universe is gonna make it happen. But I don't know. I hated it. And also with this book, it kept like flopping to like random characters also, like the lady in the car that ends up hitting Rufus. Um, I just didn't care. Or like the phone person. I didn't care either. Like I feel like it would have made more sense to just follow the two boys. I didn't care. Like even if it was like this is the car that ends up hitting Rufus. I don't care. It didn't add much to the story, in my opinion. So yeah, I didn't vibe with this book. This book didn't make me sad or anything. I know a lot of people were like, this is heartbreaking. I cried. I didn't. The Atlas 6 is like kind of OG book talk, I think. I just remember everyone talking about it, and that's what made me want to pick it up. I was intrigued. I like dark academia. I like magic. I was like, this is right in my alley. And okay, the thing with this is like I do want to continue with this series mainly because the final book, it's a trilogy, has a really low average rating on Goodreads. I think it's below 3 stars. And I want to know what made people so angry as to be like, I hate this. I'm always intrigued whenever a book has a really low average rating. I'm like, what made people angry? Like, unless it's like one of those circumstances where people are like review bombing, like negative 1 star reviewing the book because the author is garbage. That's not the case with this. I think the author is like actually a decent person. I think people are just unhappy with the ending. And I want to know. My issue with this book is nothing happened. The premise is cool. We follow 6 students that get recruited to join this secret society that has access basically to the Library of Alexandria. So they have like unlimited knowledge and all this, and they each have like a special like magical ability of sorts. Like they're magicians, so some of them are really good at like physical stuff, some are good at mental stuff, some one of them is good with plants. I don't know. But like nothing happened in this book. Like they pretty much just read and had sex. That's all they did. Until the final chapter. The last chapter, was good. So it makes you want to read the second book. I just haven't yet because I'm bad at following up on series. But the final chapter was good. The rest of the book, and I could understand if the lovely author she just wanted to like set it up a bit, be like, these are our characters, these are their powers, they're gonna just vibe for a bit. That's fine. It's just the book. It was too long for that. And like if it was like a 200-page book, that'd be one thing. I'd be like, hey, whatever. That's a good setup, I guess. But it was like double that. I think like it's around 400 pages, and that's just too long for nothing to happen. Probably reread this one anyway, even if I didn't like it, because I don't remember much about the characters, and I am intrigued. I want to finish it. Because, like, basically, they have to sacrifice someone. I think that's what gives the secret society power or whatever. So one of the sixes has to be like sacrificed. Um, so I'm intrigued. I wanna know what happens. Also, like everyone was like kind of gay, and I like that. So I didn't hate this one. I just was like, oh, why is everyone obsessed? I don't know. I don't know. Following with the theme of dark academia, we have If We Were Villains by ML Rio. This might be controversial because I know a lot of people love this one. I still see people on TikTok talking about this one. Just it didn't do it for me. It made me upset actually. I was like actually angry about how much I didn't like it because I went in thinking this would be amazing. And the first like 100 pages are really good. And then it just falls off. So this book, we follow a group of acting students at this like arts college. Um, and pretty much they only study Shakespeare, the acting students. And people get cut every year, so it's like a rigorous program. It's competitive. So there's only like seven of them in the final year. And like, yeah, if you're studying Shakespeare for 4 years, you're gonna go insane. That's just what's gonna happen. So I understand. I understand where the author was coming from. The lead up to what happens, I thought was super good. It was so fun. But then it kind of gives How to Get Away with Murder. If you've ever seen the show, and I had the same issue with the show because like I feel like if there's a way and it's like kind of clear self-defense, like not actually like premeditated murder, why are you trying to cover it up? That was like a big thing with this book because I guess maybe let's enter spoiler city for just like a hot second, okay? The one guy, Richard, dies. And the story's told from Oliver's perspective, and he's probably like the most bland character of this group. He doesn't know what happened. He was drunk. He was hooking up with one of the girls that night. So he doesn't know what happened. But the thing is, Richard had been acting out before he died. Like he was like hurting people during rehearsal. He was being a mega dickhead. So they could have easily done self defense. No one had to go to prison. No one had to do any of that. But instead, he dies and they're like, we need to cover this up. And then like when they're being like questioned by the police, they're like, yeah, everything's been fine. Like Richard's been like totally normal. Why are you lying? Like I get maybe like someone's dead and you're just not thinking straight, but just reading it, I was just like, okay, you guys are being too stupid. You guys are being silly, silly, silly. Because then they're all just miserable, or the fact that they're covering up the death of Richard. Maybe you shouldn't have done that. And I hated the ending also. The ending was a flop. I hated it. It was just such a cop out. The ending was such a cop out. I hated it. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. I feel like the story idea was good, the execution. It just could have been done a bit better. So I recently finished Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmis. This book was everywhere for a bit. It even got turned into a TV series starring Brie Larson. This book just like I don't know if I think it might have just this is like a me problem and not the book problem. Because a lot of people liked this. Even people outside of BookTok liked this book. I just think BookTok was marketing it wrong. Because I kept seeing people talking like, this book is about a female chemist in the 1960s who uses her cooking show to secretly teach women chemistry. And that's like kind of an aspect of it, but I wouldn't say she secretly teaches women chemistry. She's not subtle about it at all. So that's a lie. And then that also like the cooking show was such like a I wouldn't say it's a minor part of the book because it's like still like a decent chunk of the book is her with the cooking show, but it's not like the main thing. Like she doesn't start the cooking show until like around halfway through the book. And the book is also marketed as like a comedy. It's so funny. It has funny moments, but this book is sad. Like pretty much any single trauma you could think of probably happened to a character in this book, especially as Elizabeth Zott, the main character, and her love interest Calvin. Their lives were sad. For me, this was not a vibe. So the book itself, we follow Elizabeth Zott as she kind of she works at like a lab for a bit. She meets Calvin and they fall in love. It's very fun. It's kind of cute because they're like kind of the same person. But that just kind of leads into another issue I had with the book though, because I don't know, I feel like I'm just tired of the whole this person's really smart, so they're gonna have like no understanding of social cues and they're just gonna be deadpan all the time, like pretty much a stereotype. And I'm over it. I'm over it. I don't care. Give them another personality. I beg of you. And then like their daughter ends up with the same personality, which is fine because like it's probably autism or something and that's genetic, but I don't know. I just felt like because they're so smart, they couldn't have any other type of personality. I also feel like the ending for the book kind of wrapped up too nicely. It was too much like, yay, feminism, yay, women. Like, obviously, yeah, I love women, but I don't know. This book, it was just too depressing. And I like sad books. Like I will go to my way sometimes to read a sad book because I want to have feelings. But not like if the book is marketed as being funny and like zingy and all that because it really it was just sad. In my opinion, it was just sad. Like Elizabeth, her life was sad. There's nothing funny about it. It's just sad. Next book, I have a lot of feelings about. It's The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. This book actually pissed me off. So We have our main character. I don't remember her name, but she is kind of just fed up with life. She is working like a dead end job. Her romantic life's in the gutter. Her cat just died. I understand, right? Like, when my cat was dying, I was threatening to off myself. So I understood where she was coming from. So I liked the start of the book because it felt like this is just a person reaching their breaking point. I can understand that. She's clearly depressed. I think she was diagnosed with depression, like she's on medication. But, she reached a breaking point. She tries to kill herself. She ends up in the Midnight Library. And the Midnight Library is pretty much like this state between life and death where she is able to like look through pretty much different timelines, like if she made different choices regarding like her career or education or all of that, like, like because in her head she's like, well, if I chose to go study glaciers, maybe I would have been happy. Maybe if I had kept up with this sport I really liked, my life would be better. And like the whole message is like, no matter what, there's gonna be aspects of your life that suck. So just like don't kill yourself and try to make the most of life. It's an okay message. I can get behind the message. Don't kill yourself. Just don't do that. Don't kill yourself. That's fine. I just thought it was too shallow, in my opinion. There's better books about mental health out there that don't feel like a self-help book. The last book I want to talk about is my least favorite of these. This isn't necessarily like BookTok made me read it, more like BookTok encouraged me to check out the author. I bought the book before BookTok was a thing. So I already had it on my shelf. And I think I bought it when BookTube was going through their Colleen Hoover phase. Colleen Hoover has been around for a while. And when I was younger and I was watching BookTube and like a bunch of the booktubers I was watching, they were all buying Colleen Hoover. So I was like, oh my God, I need to read Colleen Hoover too. I bought her books. I never read them. I think that's what happens when when you jump on the hype train without actually caring about the book's contents. You're not going to be interested in checking it out. But anyway, Colleen Hoover hit up. She reached BookTok. Colleen Hoover reached BookTok, and the people of BookTok loved her. So I picked the book up, Ugly Love. I had it on my shelf. And I was like, what's the deal with Colleen Hoover? Some people love her, some people hate her. What's going on? So I read it. I read it in a night. Hated it. This Ugly Love follows Tate, who is doing like her master's in nursing. She moves into a new building, and her neighbor down the hall, I think they live on the same hall, is Miles, who is a pilot, airline pilot. So he comes and goes, and they start hooking up. Feelings develop, but Miles has some trauma. Of course he does, so he can't commit. And the book, it flops between their chapters. Basically, Tate is like the present, and Miles is his past. And I was annoyed because his chapters were so annoying. So it was him just basically being like, "Oh my God, Rachel, Rachel, I love Rachel, bleh, I love Rachel." And this is also the book with the son's big balls. They laugh at the son's big balls. So ridiculous. So the trauma that he has is very traumatic. So like I understand why he is the way he is, kind of. I don't think Colleen Hoover is the right author to be covering that type of subject matter. Her writing is just too not good. I don't know. Like, I can understand why people would like Colleen Hoover. Her book, like, her writing is very easy to read. So if you were just getting into reading and you pick up a Colleen Hoover book, you're going to be like, this is excellent. It doesn't really require much thinking. You just go in, you have a good old time, probably. Um, but no, it wasn't good. I haven't read any of her other books because I was just like, this isn't for me. I know a lot of people are boycotting Colleen Hoover at this point because she is problematic, I'm assuming. I think she, like, there was something with her son. Let your sons have consequences for their actions. My mic died. I don't know what I was talking about. Colleen Hoover. Maybe I'll have to come back to this, but she, like, she had the video of she was like having a mental breakdown because she's having a mentee B because she's going broke or whatever. Like all her merch is going on sale. Like the It Ends With Us coloring book, which is like an already insane thing to be selling because It Ends With Us is about domestic abuse, if I recall correctly. So yeah, I don't know what her deal is. I think she's just a white lady who was given too much too much hype. This is Joel, covered in hair now. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about. I don't think book talk is necessarily bad. There's good and bad to it. That's a different topic for a different video though, so I won't get into it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I didn't like these books. What book talk books did you not like, maybe? If there are any. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. Do that, hopefully. If you liked the video, that would be helpful. And I will see you later. Bye.